If you're new to this channel, then hit the subscribe button and hit the notifications button so you can stay updated in the here and now in the superhero world. What's up, super fans? It is Fit Nerd from Superheroes Ultimate and Cow Demon.
Oh, my man Broly. Finally, he's canon.
Is he?
Yeah.
Alright, so ever since we had the Battle of the Gods, and then following the Battle of the Gods we had Resurrection F, right?
Resurrection of Frieza.
These two movies were utilized to basically prep the fans towards the new series of Dragon Ball Super, which was a huge hit, bigger than actually DBZ in my opinion.
Give or take. I think DBZ had the bigger cultural impact, but Dragon Ball Super definitely brought in and reeled in all those fans back, and definitely came into a new age of new fandom for this series just to continue going.
These movies and now Dragon Ball Super has brought old school fans, and now we have new fans of the series. We have the movies, and the movies seeded off into what became the new series, which is Dragon Ball Super, and now Dragon Ball Super ended on a good note and started off with Broly, which, do you think it's going to end up going into a new series like Dragon Ball Z became GT, but now we reversed that and now we became Dragon Ball Z and we became Dragon Ball Super? Do you think it's going to go from Dragon Ball Super to another series or a continuation of Super?
Well, I think it's just going to stick in this trend because even the movie is Dragon Ball Super Broly. It's not just Dragon Ball Broly on its own kind of movie base. I'm just seeing this as they're taking a small hiatus between arcs because it's not how it used to be back in the days of when we were watching Dragon Ball, where all the episodes come out week by week essentially because they were already done. They were already being dubbed by another company.
Basically 3 weeks of just completely waiting until they power up.
Exactly. For this day and age, it's essentially a lot easier for a mass audience to get into the series. So I'm assuming this is just more of a small hiatus between arcs. So imagine if between the Namek arc and the start of the Androids arc, there was maybe a couple month period where there was just no Dragon Ball episodes because they were preparing it.
True.
Because they're making them right now. It's not like back in the day when Dragon Ball Z came out early 90s, but we didn't get it until 2000s kind of thing.
That's true. So basically this series is going to be just as it looks like it's going to be just as big as Dragon Ball Z, because Dragon Ball Z is around 360 something episodes, somewhere around there.
Give or take, I want to say it's about 9 seasons, 10.
Yeah.
Plus God knows, maybe 15 movies?
15 movies, give or take.
They're redoing Bardock almost entirely in this series. Way back when it was Bardock, father of Goku. My apologies.
Grandfather of Gohan.
Yes, who we never met. When that movie was, a lot of people consider that canon because it was the OG, it was the origin of Goku and his father and everything. They retconned a lot of that in this new Dragon Ball Z Broly movie, which, as again a diehard Bardock fan, he was up there with one of my top 10 along with Broly. Good changes and bad changes, I'm not gonna lie. They made it more sympathetic, and they almost copy to a T Superman story now. Before we used to be a little different.
It became a Superman origin story.
Yeah, almost note for note.
We have the father that said our world is gonna die. Superman 2 goes to the mother and negotiates that we have to send off our son to another planet. That's also Superman. And then basically they're a warrior race. Not like Superman, they weren't a warrior race. They were actually a scientific race. But still, they were a very sophisticated race of their own.
Yeah.
And basically he's going to be like the sole survivor. And both fathers did it.
Sent him off, goodbye.
Both mothers didn't want to. And both fathers also agreed that if it wasn't true and it didn't happen, they would go back and rescue them.
Yeah, I did enjoy that part. I did enjoy the whole, essentially fleshing out his character and giving Bardock a little bit more sympathy. Even though, again, it kind of goes against his original character and everything. I would have preferred a more warrior-esque as he was in Father of Goku, but here it also fleshed out the Saiyans as just a race entirely and just a species. Because here we see them more as a militaristic force, and less as just savages and brutes that Frieza just hires, but more of a actual, again, military state people. They have different jobs. Not everyone is a Super Saiyan, giant brawlic looking monster who can fly around and fight. Some of them are super skinny dudes. They're mechanics, they're technicians, they're scientists, they're food producers. They're normal people, which is really good. Even in when Paragus was talking to that other Saiyan on the world of Vampa, when they went to go search for Broly.
That's right, he said he was 920, and he's like, that's even higher than me.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're a Saiyan.
Yeah, and like he's even saying like, the one guy's like, oh wow, that's the moon. And Paragus is like, hey, don't look at it too much. You're gonna turn into a great Ozaru, a great ape. He's like, oh wow, I've never done that. You know, I've never experienced that. There are Saiyans who have never gone great ape. That's a whole new concept.
That's true. That's true. They basically elaborated a lot more for Dragon Ball Z. This is why the old school fans are so pulled into it, because we get a lot more things explained to us.
Yeah, there's a lot of holes being filled in. And it was a huge relief for me just watching the movie, seeing things come together. And that was just amazing. Yeah,
this movie was a lot more. It's not just Broly. It's not just about Broly. They introduced a lot more detail about King Vegeta, and they introduced the Scouters. Now we have
that Scouter scene was amazing, especially even with the introduction of Frieza. Because like up to this point, I would agree, many people thought that Frieza was just in charge of the Saiyans for eons, if anything. Like who knows how long.
Now we have King Cole that basically came in and said, "Hey, look, he's gonna be the new leader of all of you, because I'm retiring. I'm done. I'm hanging up my cape. Like my son's taking over. I'm done.
I don't feel like being a tyrant anymore. Here's my son. Little note. He's a psychopath, but he's gonna be taking care of you guys right now." And Vegeta comes, not Vegeta. Frieza comes in with one of the most absurdly badass like methods to of like being like a new ruler. He's like, "Hello, monkeys!" Just starting it off on the wrong foot. Like, I don't like any of you, but here's a gift. Here's some Scouters, and just to show you how like, oh my, would you look at that?
He's got some weapons there.
There's a guy, and there's a guy. Well, boom, boom, boom. The most badass move possible, just to demonstrate like his raw power and how much of a psychopath he is. He literally just takes out their whole like force. Cause those guys are there like, all right, we gotta protect the castle. We're here. We're defending these guys. If anything goes bad, we're here. We got this. And they're like,
no, they don't.
2,000 power level? Well, that doesn't seem too bad, but you're dead. You're dead. And the best part is he goes up to King Vegeta after. He's like, well, that's how they work. We ordered 500 of them, but if you think you need more, feel free to complain. And it's just like, wow, what a jerk. I don't like him at all. But you're not supposed to. That's the greatest part about it. The beginning of the movie, which is, again, very like prequel, very like flashbacky, giving you the run-up of the scene. Here we learn also about Paragus and his son Broly.
Yeah.
And the weird fish tank eggs that they raise the children in before they're ready to walk around and kill.
That still hasn't been answered how they procreate.
Well, I'm assuming it's normal.
I mean, they do the normal thing, and then it pops out of the woman, you know, the normal way, and then they put them in the capsules to make them more powerful.
I think it's just it's like those healing tanks from Namek when Goku got like really messed up, so Vegeta puts him in the healing tank. I feel like it's similar properties to that, where you know.
But see, that's one of the plot holes that I've always wondered, like, for the last forever. They've never actually stated, okay, they're born, and then they're in the... Which is also relative to Superman also, by the way.
Oh, because the weird cocoon.
Yeah, it's the weird cocoon things. They also did them in Superman. Yeah. But Superman, they stated that they never procreated for many years, and Superman Kal-El was the first one to actually be born the natural way.
Interesting.
So it always made me question... Is that similar to what they're doing? Like they never procreated for a long time and they just do the test tube baby thing? Or maybe Kakarot was actually the first one, kind of like Superman? Like,
well, I mean, because even still, like they show like all the babies in the like little test tubes, and even still, like Güney and Bardock, they have one of those little test tube eggs like in their house.
That's true.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that's just their form of a crib. It's just like, hey,
an awkward
rebirth the baby, shove him in the fish tank. Here he'll stay for a couple months, couple years maybe. He'll be able to like develop. Like even Güney says like, hey, he's still in the tank. Kakarot. He's a little slow to develop, but he's gonna be a good one. He's got that latent power we can almost guarantee. Meanwhile, Broly's in the high end fish tanks.
That's true. He was right there with King Vegeta's child, which is Vegeta.
Yeah, Vegeta up on his like little pedestal, being like in his red podge, like waiting, and then King Vegeta comes out and is like, ah yes, my son, the strongest of Saiyans, he will lead us one day. What the hell is that? What's with this dirty Ben baby down here? What is this? He's like, oh, well, King Vegeta. Oh, I'm sorry, but I have to point this out. They have Russian accents, like the scientists.
The scientists, apparently it's a universal thing. Any mad scientist always has to be a Russian scientist.
Ah, yes, King Vegeta. You see, we have brought in your child. He is here, but we brought this child from the son of Paragus. He has very strong latent abilities, but it comes and goes. You know, it's kind of like the weather. Who knows? Would it be someday good, someday bad, maybe both.
Maybe we had a bad reading one day.
Yeah, who knows? He broke the device. We get new device. See, now he's terrible. It's different days. We don't know. It's flawed technology. It's very flawed. As the Russian scientist. Woman was saying,
I think the Russian. The thing is, the Russian scientists knew for a fact that this one is the baby that's gonna be like the most badass of all the Saiyans,
like,
and they kept on trying to like slip it into the king's, the king's mind, like save him, save him, save him, save him, save him. But the king's ego, which we all know is what really how he rules, is through his ego.
Yeah,
which is his
goes
pride.
down to Vegeta as well.
Yeah, it just passed down right away. Because let's go right into the scene where the whole planet dies. Okay, we all know that. That's not a spoiler. We know from the original story that Frieza goes there and kills the entire race with one finger.
Yeah, one big old blast ball.
Yep, he just...
Boop. But you think, if you saw that, like, people would probably be like, hey, let's leave.
Let's go. Not just stare at it like deer in headlights and just we're gonna die.
Look at that cool eclipse. Oh, I'm dying.
Yeah.
But no, yes, it's, again, spoilers, in case you haven't known anything about Dragon Ball. Frieza kills Planet Vegeta.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to bring up, which I think is hysterical, Vegeta that we know today, Vegeta, is Vegeta the 4th. There was 3 Vegetas before him. King Vegeta and then 2 prior to that. I thought that was a little fact.
Yeah, they actually, they tossed that little fact in there that he's King Vegeta the 4th. They introduced that through Paragus, right? He was the one that stated it?
Yeah, because, well, I think it's more in the Test Tube Baby facility, because they were saying, like, yes, your son, Vegeta the 4th. I'm like, there's 2 other Vegetas we have no idea about. I wonder what they were like. Probably the same.
The same exact thing. Same hair, same attitude, just had a beard.
Longer goatees, which every time they go down.
Yeah. Which we've only seen one time, which is also kind of a little mess up, actually, in the facts, because Saiyans are only supposed to have the same type of hair. It never actually grows or anything, which means they never have facial hair. But yet there was this one time
that Goku
where they
and Vegeta both had.
Yes, they both have full beards from going into the time chamber for a number of days, which was actually like 5 years or something, and they come back out with beards.
Well, I mean, they mess up in the movie as well, because Nappa's there, and he's got like a little tuffle of hair on top of his head, but he also still has his mustache.
Well, was Nappa part of the Saiyan race?
Yeah, Nappa's a Saiyan.
He's a Saiyan?
Yeah, he's got the tail and everything. He turned into the Great Uzaru.
But they gave him a toupee.
They didn't give him a toupee. That was his hair. That's all he had left in this world, and then he had to hang out with Vegeta.
It was really little, too. It was just right at the top.
It was a tuft. It looked like a toupee, and then he hangs out with Vegeta for like 10, 20 years, and he loses all of it. He's like, I gotta hang out with this kid, and now this is my life. And with Raditz, that can't be a fun combination, the 3 of them.
I love that they're both kids, and they're both more powerful than them, though.
I love that Raditz still voiced by the same voice actor that's just doing a kid voice instead. He's like, yes, I'm Raditz. I have a raspy voice, and I'm 4.
And it showed that since both of them knew that the planet Vegeta died, they were like, alright, so my dad died. His brother and his whole family died. Yeah, they didn't give a crap. Like that's the true nature of the Saiyans.
Not
they
caring
don't
whatsoever.
care about any of that. They
Very in character, yeah.
No family ties, like no family empathy. Like they're not a loving race.
They're not,
and they kept to it. That's awesome. That's also canon now.
Yeah, Vegeta's first line in the entire movie is like, "Oh, what a bummer. I'm not gonna be, I can't be King Vegeta anymore because the planet's gone." Like, dude, your dad and your whole family is dead. Your home is gone, and you're just sitting there munching on a purple apple, not caring. He's like, well, this is my life, I guess. I'll go do something else, probably.
Which kind of leads me to the question, why did Frieza let them live?
I think it was just an oversight. Because even they're saying, like, because Nap was, they were there on a mission, so they probably didn't have time to come back and everything. Because the way it seemed, and Bardock points this out with his militaristic, know-how and stuff. He says, yeah, everyone's coming, Frieza's coming, he's calling everyone back. I don't know why he's doing it. If it was new weapons, why do we all need to be back here at the same time? If it's just like a message or something, why don't you just talk to us through our scouters and stuff?
Because you could just send out like an email.
Yeah. Like they have the technology with the scouters and stuff. They can communicate, so why bring everyone back? That's what I do enjoy about this movie, is that it takes away Bardock's stupid, I beat up a fish, so now I can tell the future power.
Right.
And it gives him, is like, listen, I've been in the military for a very long time, and things are starting to add up. This is kind of like how we destroy a planet, but he's doing it to us. I don't trust any of this. This
seems
like bad.
They're all surrounding us. This is definitely a military tactic We're gonna die, guys.
Yeah, even Frieza hasn't landed yet. He's been here for a while and he hasn't landed. Something's fishy.
Yep.
100% agree. But again, no, Frieza. Before this, Frieza comes down, scouters, amazing scene. We see Paragus. King Vegeta's like, "Hey man, yeah, your kid, yeah, he's bad. We shouldn't have him." Paragus is like, "What do you mean? You're just jealous. My kid's stronger than your kid, so now you're mad at me." And Vegeta's like, "Oh yeah, well he's on the ship now, so bye. What are you gonna do about it? Send him off already."
I called you here after the fact that I already did it.
Yeah, very, very tongue-in-cheek move by King Vegeta there. Although I do enjoy that he gave a legitimate reason that seems like, very, well thought out. He's like, "Hey, your kid's strong. He's a little too strong. I don't think we can control that. We send him off to this planet for our own safety, because if not, he's gonna go rampant and destroy all of us."
I love his excuse. He's like, "Well, what better way to prove that he's the greatest than to go survive in a desolate, abandoned planet that nobody could ever survive on. Nice. If he survives and takes over that planet, then he really is the toughest."
Yeah, he's good. We'll bring him back. And he's like, "You're sending him off against incredibly terrible odds. He's gonna not. This is like a low rank Saiyan world where they might die again, like what they want to do with Goku / Kakarot." Bardock was like, "Listen, if we keep him here, there, and they're just send him to this low class planet where he's probably gonna die. He doesn't have the greatest power yet. I don't want, I want to save something. I want to be a completely different person right now."
Heart. He just had a change of heart all of a sudden.
So weird.
It was kind of just thrown in there.
Yeah.
But I guess it had to be the way they were going. There has to be a reason to save Kakarot.
Actual origin story. It is very sad, that moment when Bardock and Güney are in front of the glass and they're like, "Hey, don't forget us."
Like that scene in Superman.
Yeah.
Like the exact scene in Superman. I think the parents were even placed the same exact way as in Superman.
I would not doubt it whatsoever.
Maybe they were just Superman fans and they were influenced by it.
Maybe. Hey Güney, remember that comic about the weird kid that goes to a different planet because he's from a different planet and becomes a superhero? Maybe that'll happen to Kakarot. Maybe, Bardock. Let's see. Let's just let's frame it the exact same way.
And that's exactly what happened to Superman. He comes to human race and he finds humans that actually are loving and caring, and that's where all his morals grow from. Goku's as well. He found that his grandfather...
Well, he hit his head on the head. He hit his head landing, so that's why he lost his whole memory of being a thirsty Saiyan warrior.
He didn't even know he came on a ship or anything. For the whole that's the whole series of Dragon Ball, actually.
Yeah.
He has no idea why he has a tail.
No, he just is like, "This is just my life." He doesn't even know that he becomes a great ape during the full moon until he sees Vegeta do it.
Yeah, he's actually the reason why his grandfather died.
Oh yeah,
he killed his own grandfather.
Yeah,
he didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's true heartbreaking right there.
Yeah, that's tragic. Holy crap, he killed his own mentor.
Yes, but again, this movie's not about Goku. This movie's about Broly.
It's about Broly. And they did a great job at it. The whole first 10 minutes of the entire movie was literally origins of everybody. They didn't waste any time on using the whole movie for it because most people know about it.
Yeah, I think it was a solid 30 minutes in.
It was like a recap.
Yeah,
it was like a recap of every single one's origin, while keeping things canon, while kind of tweaking the old school Bardock.
Making it a little bit more linear, making it more thought out, I would say.
Yep.
Big old drunk Frieza man's like, "Hey, I want to get laid."
And of course, super fans, if you want to be entered to win the Captain Marvel collectible from my private collection, then hit the subscribe button and comment below. Hey superfans, unleash your inner superhero with these super compression shirts, tank tops, leggings, shorts, t-shirts, and even costumes. Link in the description below.
3, 2, 1, a